My grandfather used to tell a story about a relative of theirs down in a place called Al, near Westport. And he was coming home from the port in Westport, and somebody came out from the house there at Triangle, and they stopped him and they said, when you go home, tell your Bridget McKevley was my great-grandmother's name. When you go home, tell Bridget to get ready and come straight down, so-and-so, a close relative of hers was dying. So my grandfather came home, and he went in, and my grandmother left. You know, they were very good to men that time. They were fed properly. There was none of this running around. And my grandfather said, when I'm finished eating, he said, be ready. He said, we have to go down to Triangle. So-and-so, some relative called Baines was dying. So she got ready, and my grandfather, I don't know, was it a sidecar or what, and they went off. And when they came to a certain point in the road, for no reason, a horse that they had well handled and understood, the horse would not budge. He used to tell this story.
Yeah.
And my grandfather had to get down off the sidecar, yes, to the sidecar, and take off his coat and cover the horse. And it was only about 200 yards from where the house was that they were going to. And he had to lead the horse to the farmyard and get down at the thing. And the man of the house came out and he said, why had you the coat on the mare's head? And he said, she wouldn't budge. He said, after so-and-so's gate. Well, he said, that's strange. He said, at that moment in time, the person was expiring.
Oh, wasn't that strange?
No. So you can take those stories for whatever they were, but that was the story. And there must have been some...
There must have been.
Sense, you know, they say that animals have sixth sense.
Well, so you were driving along the road and the horse would stop and he wouldn't, no matter what you do, he wouldn't go. Now that means there was spirit on the road. That means there was evil on the road. Because if it was a good spirit, the horse wouldn't bother. The horse would keep going.
Yeah, there would be an evil spirit, all right.
An evil spirit. The horse would not go, you know. Because I've heard that many a time.
Somebody that was out late at night, it's to be a long way now from here, so a long way from Ballinrobe or Kilmaine either. Someone that was travelling late at night with a horse and cart and supposed to have met somebody on the road who said to him, you won't come this way again. And he didn't. He got killed. Oh. That story went, but I don't know how true that is. Like, you know, somebody being out late. Because the old people didn't like people to be out late. Long ago, to have light late in houses either.
There was people shot, you know, years and years ago. And in the very place where the man was shot, the horse wouldn't pass it. And unless you said to some prayer, you would say over, and the horse would walk away. There's something now that says, like Morigan Brien, I do nothing to you. This man, the name of Morigan Brien, was shot. Yeah. Morigan Brien, I do nothing to you, and the horse walked away. When he said the words, yeah.
My grandfather on my father's side said that he was coming home from Enniscorthy and it was time of the troubles, and that the horse was trotting along the road and it was at 12 o'clock at night, and the next thing the horse stopped up and he tried to get him going and he gave him a belt of a stick and there was no use, and he got out, and he was there, the bridge was blown up in the troubled times, and the horse knew. In black dark, the horse seen it, and he wouldn't go any further. And after that, he said he'd been killed.
My father told us about someone, he used to have to drive down over the V to Miller's, John Garvin. I don't know what business he had, but he used to have to go every day anyway, whether it was delivering post or what it was. But he had, he'd probably have 2 horses under the whatever the carriage he'd be going with. But one night when he was coming back at Baylock, he couldn't get the horse to move no matter what he did. And he was there for a while anyway. And the next thing, 2 white pigeons flew out from under the saddle or something of the horse, you know, and then the horse went away again. It was just overhead Baylock. He said that was a true story, though. Whether it was or not, I don't know.
da 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 da